Why do NDEs experience different visions when they should experience a united vision of the afterlife? What if the afterlife isn't a singular, unified vision, but a kaleidoscope of profoundly personal experiences? This central enigma lies at the heart of near-death experiences, NDEs, where individuals on the precipice of death recount extraordinary journeys that, while sharing striking commonalities, also diverge in ways that spark endless debate and wonder. What truly is the thread that unites the millions who've touched the veil, and why do visions of the afterlife manifest so differently for individuals like Dr. Eben Alexander, who famously recounted a profound spiritual journey after a week-long coma, or Pam Reynolds, whose brain activity was flatlined during a complex surgery, yet she recalled intricate details of the operating room? Consider also the compelling testimony of George Rodonaya, a Georgian neurosurgeon who experienced an NDE after being declared clinically dead for 3 days, or Anita Morjani, who recovered from terminal cancer after her NDE, describing an experience of unconditional love and interconnectedness. At their core, many NDEs paint a remarkably consistent picture. We hear of an out-of-body sensation, a profound detachment from the physical form, often accompanied by an overwhelming feeling of peace, joy, and the complete absence of pain. Many describe traversing a dark tunnel or void, only to emerge into an intensely bright, yet not blinding, light. This light is frequently perceived as a source of profound love, understanding, and even a sense of homecoming. There's often a panoramic life review, a rapid, vivid replay of one's entire existence, seen from a detached, empathetic perspective, where the impact of one's actions on others becomes strikingly clear. Encounters with deceased loved ones or benevolent spiritual beings are also frequently reported, alongside a sense of gaining universal knowledge or entering an unearthly realm of immense beauty. These core elements cross cultural and religious boundaries, appearing in accounts from atheists, Christians, Buddhists, and more, suggesting a phenomenon that transcends specific belief systems. However, the commonalities often give way to striking differences, particularly when it comes to the identities of the spiritual entities encountered. While some NDEs, like the renowned NDE researcher and experiencer Dr. Raymond Moody, speak of a generalized being of light or an entity of pure consciousness, others specifically identify this entity as Jesus, Buddha, the Prophet Muhammad, or various angels and deities. A Hindu might vividly encounter messengers of Yama, the god of death, or even Krishna, while a Japanese experiencer might report symbolic images of long, dark rivers and beautiful flowers. This divergence raises a crucial question. If the afterlife is a universal truth, shouldn't the beings encountered be consistently the same across all experiences? One perspective delves deeply into the scientific understanding of the dying brain. Could these experiences be vivid, complex hallucinations triggered by physiological changes within the brain as it shuts down? As the brain starves of oxygen, neurons can misfire, leading to a cascade of unusual sensations. This can include the tunnel vision effect, often attributed to reduced blood flow to the peripheral visual fields, and the release of endogenous neurochemicals. The brain, under extreme duress, might flood itself with endorphins, the body's natural painkillers, inducing feelings of euphoria and peace. There's also the intriguing hypothesis involving DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a powerful hallucinogen naturally produced in the pineal gland, which some theories suggest might be released in significant quantities at the moment of death, triggering vivid, dreamlike states. Furthermore, studies have shown that during cardiac arrest, there can be bursts of gamma wave activity in the brain, similar to those seen during states of heightened consciousness or dreaming. The temporal lobes, in particular, are known to be involved in mystical experiences when stimulated, and their activity during the dying process could contribute to the profound spiritual sensations reported. From this viewpoint, the brain, as it undergoes its final processes, might be constructing a narrative based on its ingrained beliefs, memories, and cultural conditioning. The Christian seeing Jesus and the Buddhist seeing Buddha could both be experiencing a manifestation of their own deeply held psychological archetypes, filtered through the unique neurobiology of their dying brain. This doesn't necessarily diminish the profundity of the experience for the individual, but it offers a potential explanation rooted in our physical existence. Yet, this purely materialistic explanation struggles to fully account for certain compelling aspects, such as veridical perceptions, instances where NDEs accurately report details of their surroundings or conversations that occurred while they were clinically unconscious, sometimes even from a vantage point outside their physical body. How can a brain with severely diminished or even flatlined activity access such precise external information? This is where metaphysics steps in, suggesting that consciousness might not be solely an emergent product of the brain, but rather something more fundamental, with the brain acting as a filter or a receiver for it. In this view, the brain is a conduit, and at the point of death, the filter loosens or temporarily disengages, allowing for an expanded perception of reality, perhaps even access to a non-local consciousness, or a universal field of information that transcends the physical body. The Buddhist tradition offers a profound and intricate framework for understanding these varying experiences through the lens of the Bardo Thodol, famously known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This ancient text isn't merely a funerary ritual. It's a comprehensive guide to the Bardo, the intermediate state of consciousness between death and rebirth, spanning approximately 49 days. It meticulously describes distinct phases of consciousness after death, beginning with the Icke Bardo, the Bardo of the moment of death. Here, the dying individual is said to experience the clear light of reality, a direct, unmediated encounter with ultimate emptiness and primordial wisdom, a state of pure, unconditioned consciousness. This resonates profoundly with the universal bright light reported in many NDEs, suggesting a common, foundational experience. However, the Bardo Thodol then details the Chonyid Bardo, the Bardo of the experiencing of reality, where the consciousness, unable to sustain the pure clear light, begins to perceive visions. These are described as visions shaped by karma, manifestations of one's own mind and past actions. The text vividly describes encounters with various peaceful and wrathful deities, not as external, objective beings, but as projections of one's own mental states, fears, and attachments. The Bardo Thodol emphasizes that the individual's spiritual understanding, mental habits, and karmic imprints directly influence the nature and intensity of these visions. If one has strong devotional ties to a particular deity, that deity is precisely what they will encounter, not as an external objective reality, but as a vivid, internally generated experience. The text posits that the conscious mind, even post-mortem, continues to process reality through its conditioned patterns and karmic imprints. This is precisely why the differing visions of Jesus, Muhammad, or specific deities emerge. They are not contradictions of a unified afterlife, but rather the individual's mind interpreting the fundamental, formless luminosity of reality through its own unique psychological and spiritual lens. This aligns with a broader metaphysical understanding. While there might be a universal ground of being or a unified field of consciousness, our minds interpret and project onto that field based on our unique experiences, beliefs, and cultural imprints. Just as a single ray of white light can be refracted into a spectrum of colors, the singular reality of the afterlife might be perceived differently by each consciousness, shaped by its individual prism. But what if there's an even more radical interpretation? David Icke, with his more controversial but thought-provoking views, adds another layer to this discussion. He suggests that many of the entities encountered in the afterlife or astral dimensions are not necessarily benevolent divine beings, but rather interdimensional entities that manipulate human perception and consciousness. In his framework, these beings, often referred to as archons, could be projecting specific religious figures or comforting images to guide or even trap souls within a cyclical system of reincarnation, preventing a true awakening to their infinite nature. While his theories venture into realms of speculation, they force us to consider the possibility that the post-death experience, whatever its nature, might not be entirely passive or universally benign, and that our interpretations could be influenced by forces beyond our immediate comprehension. So, why do NDEs experience different visions when they should experience a united vision of the afterlife? Perhaps the united vision is the core commonalities: the love, the peace, the light, the the sense of connection, the profound knowing, the overwhelming feeling of love. The differences, then, are the mind's way of translating the ineffable into something comprehensible, drawing upon its deepest reservoirs of meaning. From a psychological standpoint, it's a testament to the brain's incredible capacity for narrative creation, even in extreme states. From a metaphysical perspective, it suggests that while a universal reality exists, our experience of it is inherently subjective and filtered through our consciousness, a consciousness that carries the accumulated wisdom, beliefs, and karmic imprints of a lifetime. The afterlife, then, may not be a single static destination, but a dynamic, highly personal unfolding where the journey itself is shaped by the traveler's own inner world. Thank you for watching. If this exploration of NDEs sparked your curiosity, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. What do you believe lies beyond?